We at Friends N Flannels care about our listeners, so this episode requires a quick trigger warning. Please refrain from listening to this episode if you are easily disturbed by mentions of death, self-harm, and bullying. Other than that, enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Friends N Flannel podcast, where we read stories from pop culture and the internet. And we add a little bit of that good, that that good. I'll be your narrator, and we will be reading Jeff the Killer.
Woo! Alright, so there's another sticky note on the computer that has a list of the characters. We're just going to kind of ad-lib the bullies because I didn't feel like looking up all the bullies' names on the wiki.
There's some characters that only have like 2 lines.
So we'll just kind of go as it is. But you're the narrator, so you just narrate. You're not one of the characters.
Okay.
So you say everything that the characters don't.
So who are the other characters? And I call Jeff.
We've got Nar.
Which is the narrator.
Oh.
Nar, the best name.
Go on.
We got Lou, Barbara, Billy, and Mom.
Who do you want to be? I already called Jeff.
Not one of the female characters.
You should be Lou because Jeff and Lou are brothers.
You want to be Nar?
I sure do want to be Nar.
Like, what a strange name.
What a strange name.
I could be all the female fillers.
Okay, yeah. And then what other characters we got?
The bullies.
So we got bullies and
Billy.
We'll just be the bullies, talking back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't even know
I
which
think there's
yet.
3 bullies though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll
So
just be the
we'll just
bullies.
pick one? Okay.
Yeah. So, should I be I'll be the newspaper, and then you can narrate.
Okay, so pull up.
So I'm Lou?
Yeah, you're Lou. You're
How is
Lou.
it spelled?
L-I-U?
L-I-U.
It's like
Okay.
L-I-U. It's dumb. Who has a name like Lou?
This was written like 2008.
12.
Gotta take the Lou. Gotta go to the Lou.
Alright.
So, are we ready? I shall start.
He's just reading the newspaper part.
Ominous. Unknown. Killer is still at large.
after weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story.
I forgot, who's this boy supposed to be?
I think this is literally just a random kid.
Random kid?
Yeah,
Shall I be random child?
I'll be random child.
you're the narrator.
I had a bad dream, and I woke up in the middle of the night.
This is like way too hard, says the boy.
I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up and shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. When I looked up, I nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the ray of light illuminating between my curtains, were a pair of eyes. They weren't regular eyes, though. They were Santa's eyes. They were dark and ominous. They were bordered in black. Just plain out terrified me. I hate Santa. I'm Jewish. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there watching me, asking if I wanted any presents. Finally, after what seemed like forever, he said it. A simple little phrase, but said in the only way a madman can speak. He said, "Do you want presents?" I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled out a present. At my heart, my adorable Jewish heart. I jumped out of my bed. I fought back. I kicked. I punched. I rolled around. I uppercutted him. Seismic boom, knockout, TKO. TKO out of nowhere, trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went into my dad's shoulder. Oh man, the bust went into his shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police.
Disgusting.
They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, psh, like crack.
Interesting.
Yeah, like glass breaking of the crack in them. As I came out of my room, I saw the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out to see him vanish into the distance. I could tell you one thing. I will never forget that face. The jolly red dimples, the red hat, the fat, those cold, evil eyes, and that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head.
Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits this jolly description in this story, please contact your local youth center. Jeff and his family had just moved into a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work. The wife got a divorce. Thought it would be the best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house, 2 Christmases, what's not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of the neighbors came by.
I'm Barbara. I live across the street from y'all. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself to introduce my son.
She turns around and calls her son over.
Billy, these are our new neighbors.
Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard.
Oh, I'm having a conversation with myself. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter. What?
Hold on.
And my 2 sons, Jeffrey and Lewis.
They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday party.
It must be a sad birthday if you just invite the new neighbor kids.
Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to, seeing as they had no other friends. When Jeff and his family are done packing, Jeff went up to his mom.
Oh, that's going to be me. Okay.
No.
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 Why would you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid.
Jefferson, we just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we are going to that party, and that is final.
Jeff started to talk,
That was him starting to talk.
but stopped himself, knowing that he could not do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. It be like that sometimes. He walked up into his room, plopped down on his bed, got out his Nintendo Switch, and he sat there looking at the ceiling, and then suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much as a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as puberty feeling. He heard his mother calling him downstairs to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked down the stairs to get breakfast and got
Oh,
too
sorry.
far.
Are you
Sorry.
okay over there?
I scrolled
Tech
down too
problem.
far.
I'm having a stroke. He sat there, eating his breakfast. He once again got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain.
That's it, tugging.
But he once again dismissed it as he and Lou finished breakfast. They walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and all of a sudden, some vibin' kid on a skateboard jumped over them.
This is one of the bullies.
Only inches above their laps, they both jumped back in this pride.
You can't both be Toad boys.
That's the fun part.
Okay.
Well, they are brothers. The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked his skateboard up and caught it with his hand.
Oh man, cool man
What
McGee
a-
over
what a-
here.
what a-
Should I be
what a
this
Chad.
kid?
No, I'll be the first bowl.
The
Okay.
kid seems to be about 12.
Oh,
1
man.
year younger than Jeff.
He could officially say bad words on Xbox Live
Oh,
now.
no.
heck.
Oh, heck and nah. He wears an Aeropostale t-shirt and ripped blue jeans.
Yo, yo, yo! It looks like we got some new meat!
Suddenly, 2 other children appeared.
Wild
One of
children
them was
has appeared.
super skinny, can relate, and the other was huge.
This is still the bullies.
Is it the same bully as before?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there's Keith.
Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a droopy face that
Dopey.
would expect to have a sidekick to have.
And he's Troy.
They looked over at a fat kid. Talk about tub of lard.
You're gonna be this kid.
I'm gonna be the other
You'll
2 bullies.
Yeah.
Be Troy. Oh, I was gonna be Keith.
I already got.
Oh, that's
Okay, you could be Keith. As long as I get to be the fat kid.
Yeah, you can be the fat kid.
And I am Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there is a small price for a bus fare. If you catch my drift.
Oh, man.
Alex.
running in the 90s. Lou stood up, ready to bust this kid's cheeks. just absolutely
Deck 'em.
destroy him. When one of his friends pulled a knife on him. Wow.
That
It's fat kid.
fat kid.
Fat
It's
kid
fat
would.
kid.
It doesn't specify which one
It's going to
is.
be fat kid.
Okay.
Fat kid would have a knife.
I hope you will be more cooperative. But it seems
Did I spit on you?
I'm afraid
yes.
you're spitting on the mic.
Yeah.
You're in the splash zone.
You
but it seems we must do this the hard way.
The kid walked up to Lou, took his wallet out of his pocket. Wow, just
Yoink.
just rob him. Okay. Jeff got that feeling again. That feeling that he was getting robbed. Now, it was truly strong. A burning sensation. The heat.
Bad choice.
He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid.
Bad choice. Listen here, you little punk. Give my Rose wallet back or else.
Randy put the wallet in his pockets and pulled out his own knife.
Oh, and what will you do?
Haha, you're approaching me?
Oh, you're approaching me?
Just as he finished the sentence, Jeff papped the kid in the nose. Ooh, what a fast left hook. And as Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and just broke it.
Just
Oh. Randy,
That's not cool, bro.
Randy screamed and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Troy and Keith rushed Jeff.
Jim. Jim.
Quick,
Little bros.
rush down tactics. But Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff was too quick. He ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Just
Oh my god.
Keith dropped his knife, fell to the ground screaming. Troy rushed him too, but Jeff didn't even need a knife.
oh
What
man.
a guy.
Oh my wamu.
Whoa, what a
Shinderu.
mad
Nani?
Oh my wamu. Shinderu.
Nani?
Don't.
He just punched Troy straight in the stomach, and Troy went down. As he
Bye,
fell,
Troy.
he vommed all
No,
over.
you're Troy.
There we go.
Lou could do nothing but look in amazement at Jeff.
Jeff. Oh, how do you?
That was all he said. They saw the bus coming and knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing. So
Meep, meep. Oh look, just kids having a good time.
You know, there's lots of blood.
is that one bleeding out?
Nah, it's just confetti.
As they looked back, they saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. As Jeff and Lou made it to school, they didn't dare tell what happened, as all they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of his older brother beating up a few kids, possibly murdering one.
No, I was only stabbed in the arm.
But Jeff knew it was more, because it was something scary. He got that feeling. He felt how powerful it was, the urge to just hurt someone.
I need to hurt Mario.
He didn't like how it sounded, but he couldn't help feeling happy. He felt a strange feeling that way, and stay away for the entire day of school. Even as they walked home, due to the whole, stabbing at the bus stop, and how now he probably wouldn't be taking the bus anymore. He felt happy. The hate flowed through him. When he got home, his parents asked him how his day was. He said in a somewhat ominous voice,
It was a wonderful day. A truly wonderful day.
The next morning, he heard a knock at his front door.
It doesn't
He
work.
walked down to find two police officers at the door, his mother looking back at him with an angry look.
Jeffrey, these officers tell me that you attacked 3.
There was no evidence. What do you mean?
That it wasn't regular fighting.
Oh, yeah, not normal fighting, just, super fighting.
And that they were stabbed. Stabbed, son.
Jeff's gaze fell to the floor, showing his mother that it was indeed true.
Mom, they're the ones who pulled the knives on me and Lou.
Who wants to be the cop?
Son.
All right.
Boy. We found 3 kids, 2 stabbed, 1 having bruises on his stomach, and we have witnesses proving that you fled the scene. You know what that tells me?
That there was no evidence.
No, boy. Jeff knew it was no use. He could say him and Lou had been attacked, but there was no proof that it was not them who attacked first. They couldn't say that they were fleeing, because truth be told, they weren't. So Jeff couldn't defend himself or Lou. Son, call your brother down. Jeff couldn't do it, since it was him who beat up all the kids.
Sir, it was me. I was the one who beat up Mario. Lou tried to hold me back. Luigi tried to hold me back. But he couldn't stop me. Neither could Peach. Neither could anybody.
The cop looked at his partner, and they both nodded. Well, kid, looks like a year in juvie.
Ba-dum-bum.
Wait.
They all looked up to see him holding a knife. The officers pulled their guns and locked them on Lou.
This is not realistic.
It was me. I beat up those little punks. I have the marks to prove it.
He lifted up his sleeves to reveal cuts and bruises as if he was in a struggle. Son, now put the knife down.
You'll have to shoot. Wouldn't want that to happen now, would you?
Lou held up the knife and dropped it to the ground. He put his hands up and walked over to the cops.
No, Lou, it was me. I did it.
Jeff had tears running down his face.
Poor bro. Trying to take the blame for what I did. Well, take me away.
The police led Lou out to the patrol car.
Lou, tell him it was me. Tell him. I was the one who beat up those kids.
Jeff's mother put her hands on his shoulders.
Jefferson, please, you don't have to lie. We know it's Lou. You can stop.
Sounds like this family just has it out for Lou.
Well, he's
Time
not.
to bully Lou.
I was
We can-
always the middle child.
Jeff watched helplessly as the cop cars speed away off with Lou inside. A few minutes later, Jeff's dad... Why is it not Lou's dad, too?
Just
Pulled into the
say they're trying to
driveway.
get rid of him as
Yeah.
fast as possible.
Seeing Jeff's face, knowing something was wrong.
Who wants to be dad?
Son, what is it?
Are you your own father?
Your father is your god.
Jeff could not answer. His vocal cords were strained from crying.
Yeah,
to his
just from the
God.
crying.
Instead, Jeff's mother walked his father
You're good.
inside to break the bad news to him of his son's murder. Jeff wept in the driveway. After an hour or so, Jeff walked back into the house.
You ever just cry in the driveway for a whole hour?
Same.
Mood.
Seeing his parents both shocked, signing divorce papers, sad, and most importantly, disappointed. He couldn't look at them. He couldn't see how they thought of Lou when it was his fault. He just went to sleep, trying to get the whole thing off of his mind. 2 days went by with no word from Lou at JDC.
Oh, man.
No friends to hang out with, nothing but sadness and guilt. That was until Saturday.
Oh my god, it's Saturday. I suddenly have friends again.
Saturday.
Saturdays are for the boys.
Hey, this is Kevin from the podcast coming at you with some announcements. Mid podcast announcements. Anyway, I just wanted to apologize. We added a little too much spice this episode. Technically, it's our second episode. Our first episode was reading Camel Cove, and it was pretty boring. Not the story itself, but our reading of it. So we kind of overcompensated on making this a little too wild. Our first real announcement is shout out to @KaiKennedyArt for making our little characters for our background for the YouTube version of this podcast. Thank you. And I also want to say we have our own Twitter @Friends N Flannels. Twitter did not have enough room for Friends N Flannels, so I had to get rid of one S and had to make it one singular friend. Sorry. So the Twitter bot or the Twitter man is your one friend in multiple flannels. And I just want to hint at next episode. Next episode is going to be about a certain character that gets a lot of fan fiction and is kind of notorious for all of its fan fiction. And also combined with a very popular fan fiction genre, high school. It gets kind of weird, so stay tuned for that.
Jeff is woke up by his mother with a happy, sunshiny face.
Jeffrey, it's the day.
She said as she opened up the curtains to let light flood into the room.
Wait, what's today?
Why, it's Billy's birthday party.
He was now fully awake.
Mom, you're joking, right? You don't expect me to go to some kid's party after...
There was a long pause.
Jefferson, we both know what happened. I think this party could be the thing that brightens up the past days. Now, get dressed.
Hey, you know how you murdered some kids, or well, you didn't murder them.
You didn't murder them. You just
You know how you,
almost killed them. You
severely
almost
injured
murdered
and
them.
then your brother took the blame and went to juvie. Well, too bad. Get dressed. It's Saturday.
You're going to the birthday party, whether you want to or not.
Jeff's mother walked out of the room and downstairs to get ready herself. He fought himself to get up. He picked out a random shirt and a pair of jeans. I can relate.
Same.
And walked downstairs. He saw his mother and father all dressed up. His mother in a dress and his father in a suit.
Why would they wear fancy clothes if they're going to their neighbor's kid's birthday party?
I mean, listen.
Because you gotta make a good impression
I
when one of
guess.
your sons severely injured the other neighborhood children.
Okay.
On day one. He thought, why, they would never wear such fancy clothes to a kid's party.
Son, is that all you're going to wear?
Better than wearing too much.
Said. His mother pushed down the feeling to yell at him and hid it with a smile.
And then his dad.
Now, Jeff, We may be overdressed, but this is how you go if you want to make an impression. Especially after, your brother stabbed some people. You gotta make sure, no, we're the wealthy kind. That's the brother who goes to jail that the family disowns.
He's the black sheep of the family. We don't speak of him. And now you speak again as Jeffrey.
I don't have any fancy clothes.
Just pick out something.
Called his mother. He looked around his closet for what he would call fancy. He found a pair of black dress pants he had for those special occasions, and an undershirt. He couldn't find a shirt to go with it, though he looked around. He found only striped and patterned shirts, none of which would go with fancy pants.
Oh, man.
Finally, he found a white hoodie and put it on. I'm glad that's known as fancy clothes.
You're wearing that?
They both said. His mother looked at her watch.
Oh, no time to change. Let's just go.
She said as she herded Jeff and his father out the door. They crossed the street over to Barbara's Billy's house. They knocked on the door as it appeared that Barbara, just like his parents, way overdressed as they walked inside, and all Jeff could see were adults, no children.
The kids are out in the yard, Jeff. How about you go meet some of them?
Jeff walked outside into a yard full of children. They were running around in weird cowboy costumes and shooting each other with plastic guns.
Has this kid never played cops and robbers?
Might be cowboys and Indians. He might as well be standing in a Toys R Us. God, remember when that dates this? Suddenly a kid came up to him and handed him a toy gun and a hat.
Hey, wanna play? No, kid. I'm too old for this stuff.
The kid looked at him with that weird puppy dog face.
Please? Fine.
Said Jeff. He put on a hat and started to pretend to shoot at kids. At first he thought it was totally ridiculous, but he started to actually have fun.
Man, it's so fun shooting kids.
At the idea of murder. A real Anakin Skywalker. It might not have been super cool, but it was the first time he had done something that took his mind off of you. And he played with the kids for a while until he heard a noise. A weird rolling noise. And then it hit him. Randy, Troy, and Keith all jumped the fence on their skateboards. Jeff dropped the fake gun and ripped off the hat. Randy looked at Jeff with burning hatred.
Hello, Jeff, is it? We have some unfinished business.
Jeff saw his bruised nose.
I think we're even. I beat the crap out of you, and you get my brother sent to GDC. I read that as 3DS originally.
Randy got an angry look in his eyes.
No, don't go for even. I go for winning. You may have kicked our asses that one day, but not today.
As he said that, Randy rushed at Jeff.
Die.
So why no? They both fell to the ground. Randy punched Jeff in the nose, and Jeff grabbed him by the ears and headbutted him. What a mad lad. Jeff pushed Randy off of him, and both rose to their feet. Kids were screaming, and parents were running out the house. Troy and Keith both pulled guns out of their pockets. Real guns.
No one interrupts or gets will fly.
Randy pulled a knife on Jeff and stabbed it into his shoulder.
Die.
Jeff screamed and fell to his knees. Randy started kicking him in the face. After 3 kicks, Jeff grabbed his foot and twists it. causing Randy to fall to the ground. Jeff stood up and walked towards the back door. Troy grabbed him.
Need some help?
He picks Jeff up by the back of the collar and throws him through the patio door. As Jeff tries to stand, he's kicked down to the ground. Randy repeatedly starts kicking Jeff until he starts to cough up blood. Where are the parents?
Just watching, I guess.
And this is Randy talking?
Yeah.
Come on, Jeff! Fight me!
He picks up Jeff and throws him into the kitchen. Randy sees a bottle of vodka, Sky vodka,
Oh, sorry.
no, you do, on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head. He throws Jeff back into the living room. Did he just, like, eat it and, like...
He, like, chucked him through a glass window, and now they're, like, in the kitchen.
Yeah,
in
but
their
then he,
living
like,
room.
hit him over the head with a vodka bottle?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Jeff's
it's
just
like,
taking this. Like,
Jeff practiced.
come on, Jeff! Look at me!
Jeff glances up, his face riddled with blood.
I was the one who got your brother sent to JDC. And now you're just gonna sit there and let him rot in there for a whole year? You should be ashamed!
Jeff starts to stand up.
Oh, finally! You stand up and fight.
Jeff is now at his feet. Blood and vodka on his face. Oh,
That's
so
a
he
mood.
got hit with the
Yes.
vodka bottle. Okay.
Yeah.
Once again, he gets that strange feeling. The hate. The one which he hasn't felt in a while,
The dogs.
Finally, he's up.
says Randy as he rushes at Jeff.
Yeah.
When it happened, something inside Jeff snaps. His psyche is destroyed. All rational thinking is gone. Parents on the verge of divorce.
Where are the parents?
They're watching, I guess.
They're like, ah, yes, time to get rid of the other problems.
Don't you know? This is a spectator sport.
All he can do is kill. He grabs Randy and pile drives him into the ground.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah, because a
Because-
13-year-old can do that.
Because Jeff is now the cream of the crop.
Cream of the crop.
Where did you learn those moves?
He gets on top of him and punches him straight in the
This
heart.
is my favorite part.
The punch causes Randy's heart to stop. As Randy gasps for breath, Jeff hammers down on it, punch after punch, blood gushing from Randy's body until he takes one final breath and dies.
He punched his heart so hard he's dead.
He punched him in the chest so hard, his heart
Heart
stopped.
Oh man.
Your man could rival Mike Tyson. Everyone is now looking at Jeff, the parents, even the children crying, even Troy and Keith, although they easily break from their gaze and point their guns at Jeff. Jeff
You ain't move, Jeff. You just pile drive my man into the ground.
Oh, why didn't you shoot him earlier?
You're dead.
I was watching.
You can't speak, Randy. You're
bad.
dead.
Sorry,
I'm
Randy.
too cool to die.
I'm surprised that the pile drive didn't kill him.
I'm surprised Jeff survived being thrown through glass and doors multiple times and had a vodka bottle smashed on him. He's A-okay. But
And
one good punch to the heart and a pile drive, that's it.
That's it.
Your boy's
Your
done.
boy's done.
Right.
As he runs, Troy and Keith let out fire on him, each shot missing.
Oh man, he's like dodging like the Matrix, like
Jeff runs up the stairs. He hears Troy and Keith follow behind. As they let out their final round of bullets, Jeff ducks into the bathroom. He grabs a towel rack and rips it off of the wall.
ting. Like
Troy and Keith race in, knives ready.
that. Oh right, they ran it. They're
We
all
only,
like,
we only brought.
One.
You only brought like
one-
3 clips.
We only brought one clip.
We have
We
two
thought we would-
guns.
we thought we would hit him on the first shot. Didn't need
Yeah.
to bring the rest, right?
Yeah.
Troy swings his knife at Jeff, who backs away and slams the towel rack into Troy's face. Troy goes down hard. And now all that's left is Keith. He is more agile than Troy, though, and ducks when Jeff swings the towel rack at him. He drops the knife and grabs Jeff by the neck, pushing him into the wall. Black hatred. A thing of bleach fell
Thing
down,
of bleach.
fell
thing of
down
bleach.
on top of him
Bottle
from the
and a-
top shelf. It burnt both of them, and they both started to scream.
Bleach! A thing of bleach! Oh
Oh,
no!
bleach.
Jeff wiped his
Square.
eyes
No, that would make it worse.
as best he could.
I can see now because
Pulled
it's
back.
just a thing of bleach, not actual bleach.
He pulled the towel rack back and swung it straight into Keith's head. As
Going
he
to
lay
horny
there,
jail.
bleeding to death, he let out an ominous smile.
What's so funny?
Keith pulled out a lighter and switched it on.
What's funny is that you're covered in bleach and alcohol, bro.
As Jeff's eyes widened as Keith threw the lighter at him,
Yeet.
as soon as the flame made contact with him, he ignited the alcohol in the vodka.
That's not how that works.
That's absolutely not. Have tried, does not work. When the alcohol burned him, the bleach bleached his skin. Jeff let out
As
a
it did.
terrible screech.
That's not how that works either.
No,
As
bleach bleaches skin. That's,
Yeah,
that's
only
what
when
it's
set on
named.
fire.
But
though.
with the combination of alcohol.
And fire.
You tried to stop, drop, and rule, but it was no use. The alcohol made him into a walking inferno. He ran down the hall and fell down the stairs. Everybody screaming as they saw Jeff, now the man on fire, dropped to the ground, nearly dead. The last thing Jeff saw was his mother and other parents trying to extinguish the flame.
Okay.
And that's when he passed out.
Oh, he only passed.
Okay, so
This man is invulnerable.
this
The man is literally...
kid beat someone up like 3 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was stabbed in the shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
I think,
Yeah.
Stabbed,
shot at, thrown through a window,
kicked in the face multiple times.
kicked in the face. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. When they had him on the ground, they were
That was.
kicking him in
I
the
think
face.
Randy was on the ground. And then smashed a bottle over his head,
Uh-huh.
and then he got thrown down to the ground.
Bleached and on fire.
He got a thing of bleach.
A thing of bleach.
He is on fire, and he fell down the stairs, and he's still alive.
But one good
But-
shot.
Passes out.
Well, one hard hit to quote the heart killed Randy.
Rip Randy.
Rip Randy. Everyone, right now, I've read the story before, and you all need to remember that Randy is canonically dead right now. That will be important
Dead
later.
as a doornail.
Okay,
To one good punch in the heart. Just
So-
too cool.
When Jeff
we're here.
woke, he had a cast wrapped around his face.
Yeah.
He couldn't see anything,
Mm-hmm.
but he felt a cast on his shoulder and stitches all over his body. He tried to stand up, but realized that there was some tube in his arm. And then when he tried to get up, it fell out and a nurse rushed in.
God, that must be the loosest IV.
That's not how IVs work, right?
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
So, who is this? The nurse speaking?
Yeah, the nurse.
Oh, honey, I don't think you can get out of bed just yet.
She put him back in his bed and reinserted the tube. Jeff sat there with no vision, no idea what his surroundings were. Probably a hospital. Finally, after hours, he heard his mother's voice.
I
Okay,
just want to
okay.
mention the IV falling out that easily is not possible because you know how many people tried to take out IVs at the hospital?
Yeah.
A lot. Some of them do.
They're made to, like, stay there.
Yeah, and some of them still
Yeah.
do take out the entire IV.
Oh.
They just rip it out sometimes at the
Oh.
hospital.
So I just want to mention that his mother was in the house where this fight broke out,
Multiple parents were.
but only came to him at the hospital after hours.
Hours of him being...
Hours of him being there when they were in the same place.
Well, they tried to extinguish him at the end there before he passed out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, why didn't she go with him to the hospital instead of showing up after a couple of hours?
Why did none of the other parents try to intervene when
Who knows?
children were...
Because a 12-year-old wrote this.
Plot.
Honey, are you okay?
Jeff couldn't answer, though. His face was covered and was unable to speak.
Oh, honey,
Typhoon.
I have great news. After all the witnesses told the police, Randy confessed of trying to attack you. They decided to let Lou go.
Randy,
The main.
Randy just confessed to the police, but he is dead. In the
Told
last,
you,
if this
man.
was a
I'm
movie,
too cool.
oh, he's too cool to
Cool to
live.
die.
if this was a movie, in literally the last scene, Randy just died,
I'm too cool to die. I die and then I come back.
and now
That's how cool I
Jeff's
am.
mother
Like a cat,
said that
since he's a cool cat.
I'm a cool cat. I just got
Randy-
back up and was like, oh, gotta start that heart up again.
And then Randy just confessed to the police that he attacked them. So I guess Randy didn't die?
I'm too cool.
No, only his heart stopped after being punched.
Okay, that's
Okay.
good.
This made Jeff almost bolt up, stopping halfway, remembering the tube coming out of his
You
arm.
can still sit up with an IV in your arm. He'll be out by tomorrow, and then you two will be able to be together again.
Jeff's mother hugs Jeff and says her goodbyes.
Oh, bye-bye.
The next couple of weeks were those where Jeff was visited by his family. Then came the day when his bandages were to be removed. His family were all there to see it, what he would look like as the doctors unwrapped the bandages from Jeff's face. Everyone was on the edge of their seats. They waited until the last bandage holding the cover to his face was almost removed.
Let's hope for the best.
A doctor would never say that.
I don't know. I've heard
I don't know,
the
so-
best funny
so-
comments from
Some of the
doctors.
doctors at my work are all like, let's hope for the best. Let's hope your face isn't destroyed, right?
He quickly pulls the cloth, letting the rest fall from Jeff's face.
Ah.
Jeff's mother screams at the sight of his face. What a mom. What a... Lou and Jeff's dad stare awestruck at his face.
What? What happened to my face?
Jeff said as he rushed out of bed and ran to the bathroom.
Oh, goodbye, IV.
I guess there was no IV.
The IV is coming with him. It's now attached to his back. It's a backpack
He's got an
IV.
IV pole, I guess.
He looked in the mirror and saw the cause of distress. His face. It's horrible. His lips were burnt to a deep shade of red. His face was turned pure white of color, and his hair singed from brown to black. He slowly put his hands into his face. It had a sort of leathery feel to it. He looked back at his family, then back to the mirror.
Jeff, it's not that bad. Not that bad. It's perfect.
His family were equally surprised. Jeff started laughing uncontrollably. His parents hadn't noticed that his left eye and hand were twitching.
Ooh, twitchy. Ooh, so scary. I'm so
Yeah.
scared.
Are you okay? Okay. I've never felt more happy. Look at me. This face goes perfectly with me.
He never could stop laughing. He stroked his face,
Oh yeah, leather.
looking at it in the mirror. What caused this? Well, you may recall that when Jeff was fighting Randy, something in his mind, probably his sanity, snapped. Now, he was left as crazy as a killing machine. That is, his parents didn't know.
That, makes literally no
No,
sense.
that was a genuinely hard sentence to read.
Also, why did you put that sentence in when you literally just said,
Just explain what happened before
Yeah.
all of this.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure the audience knows.
And now they're like, as you recall.
For those of you having trouble following
For those of you
this
who are lost as heck right now. Okay. Doctor, is my son alright? You know, in the head?
Ah, yes, the behavior is typical for patients that have taken very large amounts of painkillers.
Hold on. Is
This
that
boy-
true, Alex?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to kill people when you're on painkillers?
No, of course not.
Do you stroke your face and start laughing?
I'm like, ah yes, the feel of leather.
Okay, continue.
If his behavior doesn't change in a few weeks, bring him back here.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
Jeff's mother went over to Jeff.
Jefferson, sweetie, it's time to go.
I guess discharge papers don't exist in this
My shoulder
universe.
popped when I did that.
Jeff looked away from the mirror, his face still formed into a crazy smile.
Okay, Mommy.
His mother took him by the shoulders and took him to get his clothes.
Wait, his clothes?
Yeah.
The clothes that burnt off?
I guess
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Then just throw them away?
Here's this singed white hoodie and jeans.
I guess. He was literally on fire and soaked in vodka and a thing of bleach. But here's your clothes.
This is what came in!
Said the lady at the desk. Jeff's mother looked down to see the black dress pants and white hoodie her son wore. Now they were clean of blood and stitched back together.
A hospital would not do that. They would just throw them away.
They left not knowing this was their final day of life.
What?
Ooh, deep.
Oh man.
Later that night, Jeff's mother woke to a sound coming from the bathroom. It sounded as if someone was crying. She slowly walked over to see what it was. Then she looked into the bathroom and saw a horrendous sight. Jeff had taken a knife and carved a smile into his cheeks.
That makes no sense, by the way.
I'm Joker.
Yeah, your boy's the Joker.
You want to know how I got these scars?
I made them myself.
Jefferson, what are you doing?
Jeff looked over to his mother. I
couldn't keep smiling, Mommy. It hurt after a while. Now I can smile forever.
There's
Jeff's
supposed to be a end quotation there, but there
No,
isn't.
Kevin just gets.
Jeff's mother noticed his eyes.
No,
Green and black.
that's me speaking.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Jeffrey, your eyes.
His eyes were seemingly never closing.
I couldn't see my face. I got tired and my eyes started to close. I burned out my eyelids so I could forever see myself. My new face.
Oh, you got that semicolon in there?
Oh.
Got the extra points!
Jeff's mother slowly started to back away, seeing her son was going insane.
What's wrong, Mommy? Aren't I beautiful?
Yes, son. Yes, you are. Let me go get Daddy so he can see your face.
She ran into the room and shook Jeff's dad from his sleep.
Honey, get the gun.
What loving parents! She stopped and saw Jeff in the doorway, holding a knife.
Mommy, you lied.
That's the last thing they hear as Jeff rushes them with the knife, gutting both of them. His brother Luau woke up and startled by some noises. He didn't hear anything else, so he just shut his eyes and tried to go back
It's
to
only
sleep.
the screams.
It's only
Screams
screaming.
of
That
the
sounds like my
dam.
parents. Whatever.
As he was on the border of slumber, he got the strangest feeling that someone was watching him. He looked up before Jeff's hands covered his mouth, slowly raised the knife, ready to plunge into Lou. Lou thrashed here, trying to escape Jeff's grip.
Shush! Just go to sleep. That's what I said.
And then he died.
Oh man, pigs for
$4 for $6.
$6
$6 each. Papa John's.
Whoa! advertisement on the website.
Ooh,
Oh, there goes the ad.
We're not getting paid for this.
All right.
We're
saying not spawn.
how did everyone like the
So,
story?
Alex,
You've never read this.
I've
You've
never
have you
read this.
have you ever
never
heard of
it?
okay, you never heard
You've
of Jeff
never
the Killer?
heard of Jeff.
Never heard
Oh,
of Jeff.
Bless your heart.
So what's your thoughts on this is one of the most popular creepypastas?
Yeah, there was a while where Tumblr took Jeff and was like, ooh woo.
Yeah. And there's like Jane the Killer that someone made, which is
Him
just
but
for
a girl,
and it's just a pair 'em
and
up.
they
'Cause we
hook
gotta
up.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something, or they try to kill each other and then hook up later. I have no idea. I don't care enough.
Oh, that is like the definition of Tumblr.
Yeah,
Let's make 'em.
this whole thing came out of. I mean, Tumblr took it and ran.
So anyway,
What's your thoughts?
what's your thoughts on the story?
Thoughts?
First of all, where'd the children get guns from?
I have no
Where every
idea.
child gets guns, I don't know.
Oh man, the 8 key.
Oh no.
Don't worry about the 8
I
key.
forgot the 8 key is broken on the last
7,
one.
Don't
8,
worry about it.
9.
Don't.
Uh,
Alright, Brennan, have
Brennan?
you read this before?
Have you actually read the Jeff the Killer story?
Not the entirety. I remember I started reading it in Chill's voice.
Oh yes!
For like a bit
Yeah,
when we were eating
And
like
that
Little
was-
Caesars.
Oh yeah.
that was the idea.
Yeah.
That
That's
was what made this
spawned-
idea.
Spawned this.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But what do you think of the whole story?
It's wild in.
This is whack.
My favorite part is when he punches
Yes.
when he punches a bully so hard, his heart just stops.
And then Randy later is alive, I guess.
Alive enough to tell him, it
was
wasn't
me.
Lou's fault. It was me. But then I guess he's dead again since he never gets mentioned again.
Oh yeah.
What's your thoughts on this?
This is. You can definitely tell from the writing that a actual middle schooler wrote this.
Yeah.
You know, one of those middle schoolers who's like, "Roar XD, I'm a serial killer."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not realistic at
Maybe
all,
Jane the Killer
especially-
is real because it says the real story.
Oh, the
Oh, no.
real
The
story.
real
So we.
story.
especially the part where he has vodka all over him and quote a thing of bleach.
A thing of bleach.
I like to think that the thing of bleach is just this
A
cube.
bucket.
I
I like
not
to
a
think
bucket,
there's
it's
just
not
a
a bucket.
bucket.
It's just a cube
A
of
solid-
self-sustaining liquid bleach.
Like it somehow defies
Like-
physics.
Like those boxes in the original Transformers 80s
Oh,
cartoon.
yeah.
Yeah, the
The
Energon
Energon-
cubes.
the Energon
but
cubes.
it's bleach.
just a solid
Wow.
block, but it's not solid. It's still liquid, but it defies the laws of physics until it hits him, I guess. And then he gets lit on fire, and then falls down the stairs, and then he's shot at and stabbed, and he's fine.
But punch to the heart. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
But
None-
like
there
none
was
of the
TKO
parents
in it.
intervene at all. No one
Oh,
questions.
it's a spectator sport.
It's just boys being boys.
No one questions where the boys got guns.
And knives, yeah.
Well, I can understand
That's
middle
because
schoolers
we
having
are
knives.
way past cool. We don't need laws to have guns. We just get guns.
But I'm so confused.
I also like how they forgot like the word IV, so they just called it a tube.
Yeah.
A tube.
How a tube
You
just
know,
so
the
easily
blood tube.
falls
You know,
out.
the blood.
You could obviously tell the writer has never been in a hospital before.
Or never been in a fight either.
Yeah.
He pile drives.
Pile.
Or like being thrown through
I think he was thrown through like
A
3
back-
things. The
like
patio
one of
door.
those sliding back doors.
Mhm.
Do you know how hard it is to actually break that glass?
Yes.
Yeah. I can't believe this one got popular too. That was the Jeff the Killer creepypasta,
That was a wild trip.
Sure was.
and we'll be back with more stories
Hi.
coming at ya.
I guess so.
We don't have a release schedule yet.
Who needs one? And
Uh,
who needs an ending?
on the counter and smashes the glass over Jeff's head.
Boy!
I have a story after this.
Okay.
You have a story? Why don't you tell it now?
No, no,
huh?
no, we don't
On
have
the
time.
podcast?
I could tell it now because it happened yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
go
no,
ahead.
my
go
God.
ahead.
We
Okay.
wait until that's our afterthought.
No, no, this is a podcast. Let's get off track. Let's
Okay,
go.
let's
okay,
go.
okay.
Oh,
Let
here
me
comes Misty.
When I went
reorganize
drinking
myself.
yesterday, like the lady I was catching up with wanted it was called Chocolate Factory Vodka.
Okay, how does this
Or
relate to
wine.
smashing?
Give me a second.
He's getting there.
I didn't buy a wine opener because I thought it was, or I didn't bring one with me because I thought it was like just one of the twist off ones. Nuh-uh. So I used my hobo skills to try and smash it on a fence to try and like
So smart.
get to drink it. Well, how else were we gonna? We're like stabbing it with keys to try and just like poke a hole in the cork to just
You didn't have your little
Bottle opener.
multi-tool thing?
no, because like we went like out into the middle of a field.
You didn't take that with you?
No, I didn't think
Your
I'd
little
need it.
multi-tool
I
thingy?
didn't think I needed it. But so there was a chain link fence, and I sat there for probably about a good minute and a half, like trying to smash this bottle, and it just wouldn't break until I was just like, oh okay, and just like real gently tapped it, and then
Nice.
and then we just sat there kind of like pouring it out to get all the glass out. And anyway, that's my story. So glass
That was a nice
bottle
intermission.
can kill.